Hey everybody, this is Roberto Blake of robertoblake.com helping you create something awesome today. So in today's video, we're going to talk about web design a little bit more, and we're going to talk about whether web design is still a good career choice. So a lot of you have talked to me online, and some of you are concerned or despairing over the idea that there might not be a future for web designers going forward. You're concerned that with all the templates available online, all the content management systems like WordPress, all of these things like the Grid and Squarespace that allow people to do websites without coding, Adobe Muse, you're afraid that as a web designer and as somebody who does code that there's no future and there's no career prospects for you and that you're being devalued. And I get that. I get why you might be concerned about that. Me personally, I've been doing web design and coding since I was a kid. I've been doing it since I was like 13, 14 years old. So I get it. I've been in the game a long time, and there's a reason that I actually went a different direction in what I offer for web design. I went the route of really indexing heavily on a focus on content management systems like WordPress, the SEO and web marketing services that I provide in terms of landing pages, squeeze pages, marketing pages, setting those things up with Google Analytics, setting those things up and optimizing them for conversions, optimizing them for search. That's a direction that I went because I understand that what we do as creative professionals, whether you're a web designer, a graphic designer who does a broad amount of things, whether you're a print person, that I understand that as designers and creative professionals, that we facilitate the marketing effort. We're not tech and we're not artists. We are marketers, and we might be technical people and we might be artists at heart, but our purpose is to facilitate sales and marketing and advertising and to leverage our abilities in that way if we're doing this, with any hope of making real money. So psychologically, I realized that I needed to adapt my skill set and what I'm doing there less on building websites so much as helping websites or people who want to use websites do online sales and online marketing. So I personally shifted in that direction. If you're still very interested in building websites from scratch, part of my recommendation to you is this. If you're thinking of just getting started, a good thing to do would be, one, to build your own websites, possibly build something in terms of a resume or portfolio site for yourself from scratch, set up your domain name, etc. But I would also recommend setting up a blog and use a content management WordPress or something like that so that you understand it. I would also say that you need to do the free trials of things like Squarespace. You need to understand all these different tools. You need to use Adobe Muse. Even if you at heart are a coder and you hate some of these things, you need to learn to use these tools. You need to understand them because as long as there's a demand for them, you have a way to make money and leverage them. And so whether you philosophically are against them, I would say you might need to get past that and you might need to leverage them and the ability to use them, the fact that your customers want those things, and say, well, okay, I'm going to start you here, but at some point I think you should get a more professional website that has this, but I understand that right now you're a small business, you want to grow, you might not want to call me every minute to make changes, so you're going to be able to manage this on your own, that's fine. Create the value that your customers need. Don't try to sell them on what's comfortable for you. Accommodate the solution they need. Help them build and grow to be able to understand and invest in the solution that you think is best for their business in the long term, but get them there. Have that conversation. And I think the problem is that not enough people in web design, graphic design, what have you, sometimes are comfortable to have the conversation of dealing with what a customer needs today and getting that done for them and then worrying about and talking to them about what they need tomorrow. And I think that that's part of the issue. Overall, I would say that the other thing you should look at doing is passive income. I think you should develop templates. I think you should build online resources and sell them in places like Envato's Theme Forest or what have you. I think you should do that. I think you should also leverage the service end of that as far as adding support and upsell value there. I think that you should do an online resource blog for other web designers. Yes, your competition. Enable them, educate them, monetize that content, and go that way with it, and then you're making passive income. And I think honestly, I think anybody, whether you're planning a career and you want a 9-to-5 job, I think this is still beneficial for you because you'll have a body and portfolio of work. And then if you create a demand in something that's sold, then they understand you have some business savvy, and that's always valuable to have an employee that has some business savvy, and people respect that more because They don't have to explain things to you as much. You'll get it from the sales and marketing side. So that's going to be helpful for you. For the freelance side, obviously there's clear value there, proven work, the ability to make something that a bunch of people are using. So I would say that those two things are important. I would say doing your own websites, doing your own blog, getting very comfortable with those tools, learning as many tools as you possible. That makes you an easier sell as a freelancer. It makes you an easier sell as an employee. So I say do all of those things. And I would say it can't hurt to have multiple streams of income. I say that anybody in creative services should look at a 5-tier or a 10-tier revenue model in terms of looking at 5 to 10 ways that they can make money in different ways, and that they should be doing that. But that's my personal philosophy there. I think that there's more stability in doing that. I think it also gives you leverage in your negotiations, both as a freelancer for your pricing and also in the job market, because if you're already making a certain amount of money on your own, it means that to get skin in the game and to make it worth your while, someone has to offer you more. That's why it's easier to get a new job if you're already working somewhere and you have a salary that they can outbid on, versus if you don't have nothing going on right now, then it's easier to get you cheap because you need the opportunity. So I would say think about those things and approach your career as a web designer or a web developer or a graphic designer from that angle of how do you demonstrate and communicate your value? How do you put product out there? How do you become an authoritative on what you're doing? And I think that by building resources and information and monetizing your content, I think that by building templates and selling them and having passive income from that and the advertised, monetized content, I think that that's important. And I think that building out your body of work is very good, obviously for marketing purposes, but also for experience. And then I think being in those systems and understanding them just gives you more solutions to be able to offer in terms of a direction that a client or an employer can go when they need something done. But those are my thoughts. I want to know what you guys think and what you're struggling with. Let me know in the comment section below what you're dealing with right now as a web designer and how you feel about some of these new tools that are available, and if you feel they add value to the profession or if they're devaluing it. Anyway, like this video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out the other awesome content on the channel. As always, you guys, thanks so much for watching, and don't forget, create something awesome today.